Let's start from here. Hello, is that
Hi, yeah. Who's this?
hi, it's just Taylor here over with the it's a guy on Instagram who talks about YouTube automation. Does that jog your memory?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So you might have seen it was about 3 days ago. It was a post that covers how to make at least 10K a month passively through YouTube. Yeah, what actually made you opt into that? Because it's quite a detailed post.
Well, a little bit of research on what is out there to do and see if you can make money online. Nowadays, everyone's making money online.
Yeah, well, it seems more and more so. That's definitely the trend. So is that something for you as far as like an overarching goal, just simply wanting to make extra money online, or what does that look like for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I was just curious to find out a little bit more information on how
Sure.
everything works, what YouTube automation is. I've just seen,
Yeah.
ad recently, so
No, that makes sense. And with that as well, of course, the reason for this call is ultimately to make sure if going through to our next steps to really give you all of the details of like our programs, how YouTube automation works. It's really to see if that actually makes sense because it needs to be worth your time as well. So just so that I understand really more for context, and these questions are more to help me understand your situation, to see if we can help. What is it that
okay.
you actually do for a living, like outside of wanting to do this?
Well, I'm a manager at a store.
Okay, cool. Anywhere in particular, Costco's or anything niche?
Yeah, it's a Walmart.
Ah,
I'm a regional manager for Walmart.
okay, so I wasn't too far off then, not a bad guess. How long have you been a regional manager for? Or just doing what you've been doing in general?
Only for about a month or so. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just got this promotion.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doubled in hours essentially. I'm,
Oh, okay.
being scared away. So, yeah, it's been tough this past few months, but hey, this is what I wanted. So I'm happy where I'm at.
No, that's amazing that you've had the promotion, and I appreciate you sharing exactly what you're experiencing at the moment. And how long have you been like working overall at the store, right? You mentioned a month it's been in the regional management, but just overall in the kind of 9 to 5 world, how long has that been for you?
20 years. 20 years in this space, not always for Walmart, but I see where you're coming from with the question. You're in sales, right?
Absolutely. Are you in sales? I'd imagine so. If you
I'm a little bit in sales. I'm more on the purchasing end, but yeah, I definitely see where you come from. Yeah, keep on going.
awesome. Well, feel free to give me a Trustpilot review afterwards if you like me. If not, then just hang up. No issue.
Sure.
But yeah, that being said, so I suppose what's caused you to look down the route of looking into things like YouTube rather than just like, I guess, dialing in what you are doing because you've done very well in your career.
Well, I mean, I guess it's more about freedom, and I guess it's more about time freedom. I don't know.
Okay.
This young gen, this new generation is really bringing something new into the world. Of just being smarter rather than working harder. So I was thinking maybe there's something, but at the end of the day, I don't know if this is for me. I've never been tech savvy, so it might be a little bit of a lost cause for me.
No, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to feel like it is a lost cause, right? I guess are we at least open to learning to understand if we can do it? That's the main
Right.
question.
All right. I guess so. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm circling back a little bit because you mentioned about you've been working a lot of hours and stuff like that. So how many hours are you working per week at the moment with this new promotion you've just had?
Honestly, don't ask me that. My wife is gonna kill me, but 60 hours is like a minimum, man.
Well,
I'm
you
aiming
haven't
for
just said that when she's in
morning.
the room, have you? Don't want to.
No. She's away at work right now. She's away at work.
Right, okay. 60 hours a week. And I mean, overall, I mean, some people are happy to work more, right? It's not even a bad thing necessarily, but like as far as, working 60 hours, are we happy with that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm getting a little
Well,
bit
hold on.
older.
I sense well, I heard a bit of a sigh come from you. You had to really think about that. Like, what's behind that?
Uh, Yeah, I guess I'm just a little bit tired, man. I guess I'm not
Tired?
really
What do
doing
you
what I
mean?
want.
What do you mean by tired, though?
Have you ever worked 60-hour weeks?
I used to. That's pretty much one of the reasons why I transitioned myself. So yeah, just it's
What did you
different.
transition out of?
Yeah, so I was within sales corporate. I'm now obviously online myself, right? But like coming back onto like, what you meant by tired, because that can mean different things to different people. I don't want to assume what it means for me is the same for you. So what is that for you?
Tired, man. I don't get enough sleep. I'm constantly drinking a lot of coffee. My wife
Right.
hates me for not being at home at all, right?
Okay.
My 11-year-old son is, I miss all his games.
Hmm. Okay. I'm sorry to hear. And has that been since the promotion or even like before then?
It has been prior to the promotion as well, but yeah, I've always considered myself a career guy. So,
Yeah, I
I
hear
mean,
that.
this is what I wanted. The pay is really good and stuff like that. So, I
Hmm.
guess you have to sacrifice things in life, right?
Sometimes you do, I guess, but it seems as though you're tired. It seems as though, you don't exactly want to be where you are if we think of an ideal scenario. Correct me if I am wrong, Dorian.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a great job. I love what I do. The people that I work with are fantastic.
Mhm.
There's great bonuses and stuff like that. I don't know, man. It does fulfill me a little bit, but I guess, I'm not really the man I really want to be, maybe on the other side, like being there for my family. So it's
Right,
like a 50-50 kind of thing.
I see. So, that being said, you're fulfilled on one side, maybe not on the other. Is it time to potentially do something to fulfill on both sides of the equation? Or like you tell me, are you is happy to do what you're doing?
Well, how much time does this take, man?
It's a very brief call. It's at the end of the day, I want to make
No,
sure
no, no,
that
not the call, not the call. I mean, whatever you guys do.
what do you mean as far as like understanding like the overall, like the what is it you're trying to understand so I know where you're coming from?
Yeah, just the program. Like, how long is it? What's the success rate? Is it even worth doing? Like,
Oh,
you
right.
know,
No, that's a valid question. And just so that you understand, of course, our next call is where that will be covered in detail for you. I want to be the best person to answer those questions. I'm simply the assistant to our specialists. They're going to cover all of that in a lot more detail so that you get full clarity. So I don't want to relay information incorrectly and then disappoint your expectations, okay?
okay, but can you tell me at least a little bit about what the program is? Like, what am I even getting myself into if I go on? What's going to happen on the next meeting?
Well, if I had full certainty of all of the details, for sure, I'd be the first person to relay that to you. I guess are we open to even considering a next conversation as long as we're happy with moving on the next steps? Otherwise, I'm not sure if I can help.
Okay, and what's going to happen on the next meeting exactly?
Well, yeah, obviously it depends if doing this would make sense for you, but it would essentially cover all of the information as far as what you need to know for this, YouTube automation, and seeing if it aligns with the goals that you have, right? So that would be covered. But yeah, I suppose when it comes to YouTube automation, how long have you actually known or thought about doing this for? Because it seems like we can be quite new to it right now.
Yeah, only about a week now. Only about a week now.
So it's not been long. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to get back to you on booking that meeting.
Okay, that's not a problem because at this point, I'm not even sure if it would make sense either. But like, help me to understand because you've mentioned obviously about your work situation, about not being happy and maybe wanting to even change it. And just so that I know if it's the need to even make a change, if it makes sense, I suppose, is now the right time to potentially make a move? Or are we still just looking to stay in our job for a while?
You're asking tough questions, man. I did not expect this call and this myself to be
That's what
leading
sales is
this type
about,
of
right? Tough questions.
conversation. Uh, yeah, can I give you a call like after work and then maybe, or you can give me a call after work and then maybe we can, sit down and speak
Am,
about
am
it.
I boring you to death? It seems like maybe I'm boring you.
Well, no, man, but it's just that, I'm at work right now, so I'm a little bit, busy and stuff like that. And to answer these kind of questions is a little bit private, but
Oh,
I
I've
guess
said that to a lot of salespeople as well, Dorian. Don't worry.
right. No, I guess I'd be open for like a longer call and just speaking a little bit more in depth on. Is this like a free call?
Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't been charging your phone. I wish I could though, if I had the ability to. But yeah, no problem. So I'd be happy to set up another call. I just want to make sure your time spent productively because you're working 60 hours per week. You're clearly not happy with it. And so I suppose, is there even a need to discuss next steps to see if maybe making that transition's there for you? Otherwise, if you want to keep doing your job, crack on. That's great for you. But like, is there that even that need to do that and do something sooner?
I mean, I guess you're right. You have to make the first move, right? It's all about making the first move. I've
But
never
we
been a
haven't
guy
for 20
who
years, right?
really.
It's been a long time. So, like, are we ready? If not, it's no worries, no judgment.
Okay, let's do it, man. Yeah, I mean, you have to do something, right? It's life. We only get one life, so we might as well. What's there to be done if it's only a meeting, right? No one's gonna, force me into anything. You guys are legit, right?
Cool. And then what I would do from here, I would then transition into, okay, cool. So just so that I understand if that next call would make sense, to actually work with us, X, Y, and Z, go into qualifications. Because I've pushed back quite a lot on him, and it's more just like having a laugh and just breaking down his mentality, breaking down the walls. So yeah, very unique scenario. I see what you're trying to do, Dorian. So that was a good example. I was spending 10 minutes with you, so it was a very, very long time. But yeah, I wouldn't have like if you would have said anything more, I wouldn't have pushed on it because I don't want to spend too much time.
Right.
Right. I would have spent just another like 2 to 3 minutes, extra bit of qualifying, and then just book you in. That's what I would do. You're already making like a minimum of 40K. Sorry, like, I didn't even ask you what you were making, but you was a regional manager of a store. Those people are usually high status, right? We can sometimes make assumptions like that about those people. We don't have to go super deep into qualification at all times. But if you're showing me you're driven, the issue is time. Money is never usually the biggest concern for them, but it's where they can put the leverage of time. So you can sometimes make those kind of assumptions with people's situations, because sometimes you can burn a bridge by going too direct on finances. So that was a very situational call there, guys. But was there any questions on anything I covered, how I was, the things I said? Because it was quite a lot in that, to be fair.
Yeah, I love that. I literally I was thinking of any like potential like curveball just to see how I need to react in that type of situation and how to like bring it back because I had like those mishaps where they take me a little bit on a run for their own, right? And I'm a little bit sometimes struggling to bring back authority. But the way you just moved it quickly, yeah, addressed it, but then boom, let's get back into it. Like that was gold, man. That was perfection. That was
Well,
good.
not even perfect. I think that was quite rusty, to be honest. It's been a while, but I think as far as principles, I'm always like, I never want to move onto another phase until I'm fully satisfied with what I'm hearing. If I'm not satisfied with it and that person's clearly not showing enough commitment, urgency, they're kind of shiny object syndrome, I'm not moving on to any phase of the conversation because I don't want to put through someone who's like half-assed about their commitment. So we stayed there for a bit. You tried to shrug me off. I utilized the fact that you asked the sales question to my advantage. Not everyone's going to do that, obviously, but it's kind of being cheeky and like the way I was doing it, I had good intentions for him, right. There was clear that he had some concerns. He was open for me, and I was like, well, you've got these concerns. I guess why are we, brushing this off? Like kind of being serious about it at the same time. And then asked the question initially about like, what is this all like? Can you tell me more about the program at the beginning? I then used a bit of a pre-frame at the start of the call, and that's really important in an outbound. Like if somebody gives you that question straight up, just give them the purpose of the call. So yeah, so the actual reason I've reached out just to address any elephants is to make sure that what we're doing is even going to make sense and be a good use of your time, right? Because the last thing we'd want is for you to eventually have a call with a further specialist, and then it just be a total waste of your time, energy, and resources. Okay, so I'm here to be that guy as the good cop to make sure the bad cop's doing their job properly, right? Kind of something along those lines. That's a one-liner or whatever. But do you get like, I guess, the principles of what I'm trying to do there?